Water is an important source of life. Without water, there will be no life. Around 97% of Earth's water is in the ocean that are very salty and cannot be used for most human purposes. Out of that, 3% is fresh water, in which 2% is stored in glaciers and ice cap. That leaves only about 1% of fresh water that comes from different sources such as rivers and groundwater. Many developing countries like Africa and India has the problem of dependable supply of clean water. The United Nations Developing Program specifies the importance of fresh water in simple sentence that clean water can either make or break human development. Fresh water plays an important role in many different areas. One of the most vital areas is nutrition and agriculture, health, conflicts, and natural disasters. All these matters are linked to each other and affect each other in different ways. First issue is health and agriculture. The countries with low or irregular precipitation use nearly 70 to 75% of water consumption from freshwater resources like lakes. Countries like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan started to use fresh water from their rivers to irrigate their crops and farms. Since 1960, the rivers have narrowed in size around 75%. 90% of water and remaining water in the lakes have gone alkaline due to low water exchange. The water is also getting polluted by pesticides and pests that wash out of irrigation fields, making it poisonous for the surrounding flora and fauna. These are one of the largest man-made disasters.
The second problem related to lack of fresh water is the importance in the health system, also related to sanitation systems everywhere. If the sewage system is prejudiced, all the health system will be affected. While it's true that some goals have been reached in the last decade, there are still about 900 million people without access to clean drinking water. The situation is similar in other areas. 2.5 billion people for sanitation, and almost 8% of developing countries' diseases can be directly related to lack of clean water. UNESCO estimates that 5,000 children die every day by dehydration, totalizing 3.5 million people dying annually. Lastly, the lack of fresh water in some regions can be a cause of conflicts. From personal fights until national disagreements, all classes are part of these contests. For example, the Nile River, that has its fount in Ethiopia and runs through Sudan and Egypt, is a reason for an actual conflict between these three countries. Ethiopia needs to use the river's water to develop an agriculture system. The other two countries would have less water if it happens, and for that, they threaten Ethiopia even with military power.
Australia is the most arid and inhabited continent on Earth, and its government is investing on water management technologies in order to avoid lack of fresh water in the next decades, which will be better explained next.
Geoscience Australia provides geoscientific knowledge about how and where groundwater and surface water systems operate and how they interact with one another.
Understanding the location of the water, where it is now, where it has been in the past and where it will be in the future is really fundamental to managing the water. If you can't measure, you can't manage, and we provide, if you like, the objective measurement of where water exists in the landscape.
In a regular farming activity, water availability is not the only concern, but also people still grow their food a long way from the cities, where most of the population live. So, why not put the farms in the buildings that we live and work? It would at least drastically reduce food transportation cost. Furthermore, modern agriculture consumes 70% of all available fresh water, but vertical farms can be fitted with nanofilms that collect condensation, and nanomembranes can filter and clean recycled water. Better water quality, less waste. In addition, one square block farm, 30-story height, could produce as much food as 30 square kilometers of outdoor farming. Another strategy to save fresh water is improving resource productivity. As an example, 2,500 liters of water are necessary to yield 1 kilogram of rice, while 1 kilogram of beef needs 15,000 liters. Therefore, changing eating habits and so changing the food that we grow could affect the use of fresh water. Less beef and more vegetables in the table can save billions of liters of water.
Simple changes can help to save water. Two important types of solutions are decoupling and whole system designs. For many times, we use water in a sustainable way in our houses and affecting the environment. But there are useful ways to reduce the waste of this important resource. Rainwater, stormwater, and recycled water can be reused from the installation of an integrated system that collects and stores these resources for later use in the house. The advance of technology and the increased demand of water can be decoupled if we implement smart adaptations like that. Instead of improved septal elements, the solution is to think in the whole water system in a house, or even more, build an integrated system, embrace the whole city, aiming the more sustainable development. These changes will bring benefits for all the population and reduce their consumption of water as well as reuse it when it's possible. These adaptations will vary from place to place due to difference of houses and cities. But the most important is that something can be done to prevent the lack of fresh water. That, unfortunately, is already a problem in some places. Water is life. You don't want to waste it, do you?